This is extremely good news for Cowboys fans, as Dak Prescott just gave us an injury update on himself, and it's very good, not just for the roster, but for this team's postseason chances heading into the 2025 NFL season. Welcome into Cowboys Digest, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews, and we are happy you chose to join us. If you're new, scroll down there and hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, the best way to support the channel. And of course, as we get closer to the NFL season, our coverage, our content, the news, the information, it's all going to expand. So if you don't want to miss out on anything related to the Dallas Cowboys, then hit that subscribe button because we are your one-stop shop for all of the news, information, and updates. Today's update is on this man right here, Dak Prescott. Now, going back into last season, he definitely had an interesting year. Obviously, the injury with the hamstring avulsion was something that you didn't like to see, but quite frankly, when he was on the field, it wasn't as good as we want/expect from a guy like Dak Prescott. And so, what exactly is the expectations? What does the injury look like? How has he been preparing this offseason? Well, that's where today's news comes in, because we got a literal from the horse's mouth, Dak Prescott talking about this injury and saying the way he feels, which let's just get to it. Cowboys Dak Prescott says he is, quote, full go for training camp. This was posted on a latest article by ESPN talking about Dak. We'll have his quote in just a moment, but it's very nice to see that he believes he is full go for training camp, which again, just as a reminder, starts on July 20th. So we're about 10 days away from now. It's a little bit ahead to say that he's going to be full go and ready for the entirety of training camp. From his perspective, he may be. From the Dallas Cowboys perspective, I doubt they're going to let him do every single drill the way it's intended to be. I think they're going to still play it and take it a little easy on him, just for the matter of the fact that he is coming off that injury and they don't want to re-injure it in training camp. Here's the quote from Dak Prescott in which he talks about his injury, saying, quote, "I'm healthy as I'll be. I'll be full go for camp. I'm healthy. And yeah, I think soon here, I'll probably get the official sign-off from Doc, but I'm healthy," end quote. So Dak Prescott says, I'm good to go. He says, we're good. There's nothing wrong with me. My hamstring, I'm as healthy as it's going to be. The doctor still has to sign off it, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant to say that he's going to be full go for training camp. I think the Dallas Cowboys, he might be full go in his mind, but they're still going to play it safe with him. They're not going to let him go out there and just get out of the pocket and throw on the run. Like, that's not the way they're going to handle this situation. They're going to make sure that he is ready to go given the injury history. Now, the guy who had this report was Todd from ESPN, and he says this, quote, "During the offseason program, Prescott took part in all the on-field drills after missing the final 9 games last season because of a hamstring avulsion that required surgery. He showed no signs of the injury during the offseason program, although some of the out-of-pocket movements were limited by design," end quote. So kind of just confirming like what I said, the out-of-pocket movements, him scrambling, him getting out there, running and passing on the run, that's not going to be something that the Cowboys are probably going to continue to let him do. That's not something they're going to keep that for Joe Milton and for Will Greer. That's going to be their design and have them go against the defense for that. For Dak Prescott, it's about getting his bearings right. Make sure that hamstring is, again, fully healthy, which he says it is. Make sure all his muscles are ready and nothing is going to be easily injurable, I guess is the word to say, heading into this upcoming season. And I would like to see a better year than what we saw from him last season. Obviously, only playing 8 games at the small sample size, but 11 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing, a QBR less than 50. And quite frankly, it just was not a great season overall. And again, the injury did play a part in that. Obviously, not playing the final 9 games is something to definitely take into account. But at the same time, like I said, when he was on the field, it wasn't the Dak Prescott we expect to see game in and game out. And that's where we go back and look at his stats from previous seasons and know that he is much more capable than what we saw last season. And that could even go back into legit the 2023 season, in which he had 410 completions, over 4,500 yards. That was, at the time, second in his entire career. His average was 7.7. He had only 9 interceptions to the 36 touchdowns, and his QBR was at 73.4, which was, again, a career high for him. So, he is better than what we saw last season. And quite frankly, with an injury like a hamstring avulsion, I wonder how long it was bothering him before it was just too much, before the actual injury took place. sometimes with stuff like that, especially for football players who, they want to present this tough masculine thing like, oh, I'm not injured, I'm fine, that's great. But then maybe it was bothering him for a long time, and obviously the injury took place, and maybe it could have been prevented if he sat out a couple of games earlier. Who knows? That's just speculation. That's nothing that has been reported or confirmed, but it is nice to see that he is out there, he's excited, and it's really nice because I think he wants to be ready for the season because he knows how important it is. Obviously, you have the signing, or rather the trade for George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb, you got Jalen Tolbert. Kevontae Turpin has the charges. There could be a suspension. We don't know about that. But either way, there is going to be a very good wide receiver group around Dak Prescott. And he noted that in some of the quotes after that injury discussion, saying, quote, to be the guy that gets to get them the ball, it's exciting as hell because you can turn on the OTA tapes and one of the guys the ball is in the air for and the other one has got his hand up celebrating already. We've just got to continue to grow that and continue to make sure that that's trending the right way, end quote. Which is nice to see. It's obviously something of note that the team has to be excited about this team for it to be successful in the 2025 season. And the fact of the matter that he's right. If you look at OTA tapes and you see a pass going up to George Pickens, you're going to look to the other side of the field and see Jalen Tolbert or CeeDee Lamb doing this for touchdown because they already know it's going to be caught. It's George Pickens. That is the pass he is going to catch. And I'm excited to see that in AT&T Stadium. And I'm really pumped for this season. And the fact is that Dak Prescott giving us this injury update, saying how healthy he feels, makes me more confident because not that he didn't say this past offseason, and there was no injury to be concerned about, to be quite frank, but it just is nice that he says that he's good. And again, that could be, who knows how actually good he feels. But I'm just so excited to see him out there and actually playing rather than just these little small things. And like I said, this wide receiver room is stacked. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert. Obviously, we know the Kevontae Turpin issue. I'm not going to address it just because I can't say anything until the suspension or whatever is final. Either way, I have a really good feeling about Jonathan Mingo this upcoming season. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I like Jalen Brooks, not to mention any guy behind them. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I think this team could really have some success with. I'm looking at the first and second string guys because Brooks and Mingo are my two guys that I'm looking at on that second string chart where I'm thinking they're going to have a pretty good year that's going to be underrated until we see them actually out on the field. And Dak Prescott knows that. He does. And speaking of George Pickens, Dak Osco talked on him. Wanted to make sure we got that to you as well. He said, quote, that knowledge, that involvement, it shows you a guy that loves football and that to me deletes a lot of the things you heard about him in the past. That's good to hear. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Dak Prescott recently took a trip with some of his wide receivers, which he does yearly, but George Pickens went, and he said that George Pickens was knowledgeable there. He wanted to learn, and we know the history of George Pickens in Pittsburgh and the quote-unquote attitude issues and the stuff we've seen on the field. And, of course, the way he got drafted was absolutely psychotic, but I kind of love it, not going to lie. As a football guy, that was cool. But he sees him as a different receiver now than maybe as the people who saw him with Pittsburgh. He continues on to say this, quote, great dude, loves his teammates, and excited as hell for this season. I know he is. I know he's happy to be in a fresh new spot and excited for what he's going to do for us, end quote. I'm super excited to see Dak Prescott and George Pickens together along with CeeDee Lamb. Like, this team is going to be good. It has to be. Like, the stars have finally aligned, it feels like, and I guess I can say that a lot of seasons with the Cowboys, but the playoffs and the struggles we've had, this has got to be the year where they take a turn. They finally get the mountain. Something goes in a positive manner. The defense looks good. By the way, sign Micah. I'm saying that every video until he signs him, so sign Micah. I'm just so ready for the season to start and Micah to sign. But it's an exciting time, knowing that he's going to be healthy, knowing that he's got this absolute demon to throw the ball to. It's an exciting time. 894 yards, 15.3 yards per receptions last season. And he was upset with the amount of targets he was getting because, well, quite frankly, the Pittsburgh Steelers should have been targeting him more. Like, he was the number one wide receiver, and he wasn't getting targeted. Now, because he has CeeDee Lamb, it almost feels like he's been a little bit more comfortable, if that's the right word to say. Like, he just almost is like, if the offense is going good and I'm not getting targets, so be it. Like, we're winning. That's what matters. And it's so weird to see him in his Pittsburgh days to now. I don't know if Jerry Jones had a stern talking to with him or if Dak, whatever, but he is, like, every report I'm hearing from Coach Schottenheimer, from Dak Prescott, from the offensive coaches is saying this guy loves the game of football, wants to win, wants to learn, and wants this team to be successful, not just himself, which is a complete 180 to what we heard about him in Pittsburgh. And, man, can we start week 1 already? Like, are the Eagles ready to go? Like, we can just play it now, right? We can just play it now. We got some time. We got some news to cover. We got a bunch to talk about. But for now, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join it here with us. And that's all we got for you today on Cowboys Digest. If you made it to the end of the video, though, you obviously are enjoying the content. So go down there, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road now to, 5,000 because we crossed the 4,000 mark. So let's try and get there, and we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest. Peace out, guys.